Hello there. Making the decision to engage in some form of therapy can be quite daunting. Um, it can also be a little frightening. You don't know what's going to happen. You've been living with this issue that may have been a huge part of your life, and all of a sudden you take the decision to engage and share this with a complete stranger. And that's not an easy step to make. And, well, after you book that first session, what happens? Well, I'm here to let you know what I do in the first session after we've perhaps had a brief phone call to establish whether my skill set would be useful for you and whether I can help you. So we've had that first call. We've decided that we want to meet and have a first initial session where, well, firstly, I think it's useful for me to put your mind at ease a little bit and to also explain what I can and can't do in a bit more detail. Also, a lot of people have maybe a skewed vision of what therapy is. There's perhaps an expectation there. You just turn up, tell the therapist what's wrong, and he or her has some wonderful words of wisdom and magic that can make everything sound better or feel better. And that's often not the case. Well, that first session really is more of a chance for us to get to know each other, see if we can work together, we can forge a working alliance. And also it's an opportunity for me to get some more details to see where you are, how did we get to this point in our lives, and more importantly, what you're hoping to achieve. That's a very important thing because often people come to the first session of therapy and don't really know where they're going next, and that's okay. But we need to be clear together, roughly where we want to be in a few sessions' time. Because some people say things like, well, I just want to discover myself. And again, that's a perfectly valid way of looking at things. But even that exploration, even that form of discovery has to be grounded in a topic or another, or in a goal or another. And that first session, when we sit face to face, or actually in my case will be Zoom to Zoom, we get to talk and we get to figure out where we get to ask a bit more detail about your life. Maybe some random things that you don't necessarily see the point of, like, do you have any pets? What's your relationship with your parents? Do you have any sisters? What's your alcohol intake? And none of these questions are to judge you in any sort of way, but they are to give me an idea, an understanding of where you are in your life at this point. Now, more importantly, after this exploration, if you like, and I try to take as few personal details as I can. Obviously, I need some, and they're all kept in a very secure database. But after all this, it really is for us to kind of decide where we go next. For us to kind of explore together what we want to achieve. And then for me to kind of potentially present to you what our therapeutic plan will be like. Often, people struggle to explain where they are. Often struggle to really put into words how they're feeling, and that's okay. Maybe sometimes we just have a chat. Maybe sometimes all we need is to utter out loud some of the stuff that we've been holding on for so long. So, don't be too afraid of that first session. Yes, there will be some potentially uncomfortable questions, but they're never asked in a judgmental way or in a critical way. It's just for me to understand where you are. And secondly, rest assured that firstly, I will always tell you what are my limitations, where my skill set ends, if you like, but also together we can work towards a plan. And you are very much an integral part and a very important part of that plan. And this plan is something that's totally confidential between the two of us. And that first session will establish a lot of groundwork on which we are going to operate in the next few weeks or maybe months. It talks about our relationship, what our boundaries are like, how would we like to behave towards one another. It also says what sort of methodology we're going to use and what sort of stuff you are comfortable or you're not comfortable with. So in a sense, yes, it's a daunting, it's scary session. It's something that you have such a big input in because it is all about you and it always will be. But it's about finding that connection between us and also together making a plan to take you to where you want to be. So if you've made that first session, if you've made that first appointment, firstly, I think you need to congratulate yourself. You've taken a big decision in your life. But also know that you're in good hands, and also that you're always going to be included and respected in the process. And then together we can forge and grow and go where we need to go. And sometimes there will be setbacks, and sometimes there will be things that we need to do better, and that's why we have a feedback process. But it all starts with that first session where we sit together, we discuss where we are, we discuss where we want to be in honesty, comfort, safety, and a non-judgmental way. And together we make a plan. Have a good day.